And welcome back, everyone, to part 8 of What If Naruto Was on Team Guy? I'm going to be flat out honest. Because of where we're going to actually end up starting, there's a legitimate chance if I decide to just make this longer than the average video, I could finish it in one go. I'm going to see where I'm at after I'm done with the Kage Summit part of this video, but we'll go there because we'll go from there because honestly, we're at the whole Sasuke hunting Itachi down. And because Naruto's on Team 10, he's not going to be having any part here. In fact, even if he did have a part here, Naruto doesn't have any real abilities that would allow him to change anything in this circumstance. The most you could say is if he was part of the retrieval party, maybe he could bust out one of the gates and just like rush in as quick as possible. But that's me being generous. Like he's moving so fast that he's bypassing like this, like Obito or Zetsu. But that doesn't mean he'd still be able to get to Sasuke in time at all. So really, we would actually be starting this what if with the death of Jiraiya. Now, keep in mind, Naruto and Naruto and Tenten have been dating for a little while now, so they're probably enjoying their relationship as is. Should also note that we know Team Guy is out of the village when Naruto goes to train and train with the Toads. Well, they're not necessarily out of the village when they train with the Toads. They're out of the village when Pain attacks the village. We have no idea how long they had been gone for. My guess, and this is only my guess, because I think Naruto is gone for like a couple weeks. My guess is that they are still in the village when he goes to train. They're not in the village when he comes back. And so the news hits that Jiraiya has passed, was killed in battle. Naruto is just floored by this when he is summoned into the office, because he would not be part of the retrieval mission. This isn't like them, because if I'm not mistaken, the way it happened, the way he found out was they were lamenting the retrieval mission, didn't work out, and then someone came in and notified them that Jiraiya had been killed. So here Naruto gets summoned, and he gets summoned with his team. What is a Lady Hokage? What exactly are they bringing here? So I've got news. There's like, news? What kind of news, Granny? And you can tell, Naruto can tell immediately that something's not right. She didn't react to me calling her grandma at all. Even when she just lets me call her that, she usually either quips back or is got a mild look at her. Here she's just somber. Jiraiya was, there's always would say Jiraiya was killed today. And not everyone hears that. It's like, Jiraiya? The Toad Sage, Jiraiya, legendary Sani, Jiraiya was killed? And Naruto, among all of them, and Neji and Guy and Tenten all look to Naruto, who's kind of like deer in the headlights, like pervy sage. And you were a student, Naruto, so I wanted you to. I felt it was important you knew this. There's also a message that was left by Jiraiya that needs to be decoded. We're certain that you might be able to decode it, but please, and while it is probably most likely time sensitive, I don't want to rush this with you. Take the time you need to just process what happened here. And Naruto is honestly just like, thanks. He just kind of goes off and be by himself for a bit. And Tenten's about to go after him before Guy is like, Tenten, there will be a time and place for you to comfort him, but right now he needs to be by himself. There's nothing, but Guy said Naruto, and so Naruto goes and he's mourning. He meets Shikamaru. Ultimately, he meets up with Iruka. Iruka helps him feel better, and then later on he's maybe walking back to like say his apartment, because it's that night when that scene happened with the popsicle and on the bench. And he sees Tenten kind of waiting by his door a little bit, hoping you come by. He's like, Tenten, you've been waiting this whole time? It's like, well, I wasn't going to wait all night. And she kind of laughs off. Truth be told, she was so worried she might have. And she's like, I just wanted to be sure you're okay. And she smiles at her, and he holds her, and they have a kiss, and they're all happy. And I'm not saying they're going to do it, but, maybe she spends the night over there in a respectful manner. Who knows where their relation's at this point. Use your imagination, folks. Just don't be a pervert. Or you can be a pervert in memory of the sage. Be a pervert. But, she spends the night. Whatever form that takes, she spends the night. And so later the next day, Naruto comes in, figures out what the message means, and he goes to train with the Toads. Now, he kisses his girlfriend goodbye. He says goodbye. Hinata is probably aware, by the way, that these two are a couple. She is sad about this. But she ultimately wants, and she is someone who, if he had wound up with Sakura like he had been crushing on the whole time, she would have been sad she didn't wind up with him, but she would have been happy that he was happy. And that is kind of who Hinata is. She is Bleeding Heart's not the right term. She is an exceptionally good person. And so now I got real quick, I guess, because I am going to keep it at Naruto 1010. Is there someone Hinata maybe could end up with? Realistically, honestly, no joke. I think Lee and Hinata actually would have been, assuming that Naruto and Hinata never ended up together. Lee and Hinata, I think, would have been a good secondary pairing. I don't really buy the Kiba Hinata pairing very much, just because they definitely seem to have more of like a brother-sister relationship. Same with Shino and her. But Lee has a lot of the same traits as Naruto. He's just a little bit more high-strung. Not high-strung. He's a little bit more ridiculous, let's be honest, in mentally. Like, he is a little bit more childish than Naruto in a different way than Naruto is. So honestly, I could see Lee and Hinata when the time skip ultimately happens near the end, assuming we don't kill the entire universe by the end of this, winding up together. But Naruto goes to train with the Toads, and they're talking to him about natural chakra, the sage mode. And Naruto points out, yeah, I think the tortoise is actually, Oogway talked about that at one point. Yeah, it's like, Oogway, that's right. Speaking of which, Oogway, I know you're here. Oh, found me, did you? Wait, Master Oogway, what are you doing here? I had actually asked Oogway to come here. We worked out a summoning jutsu to get him here prior, as Mount Miyabunku is not easy to find. Fine, normally. And so I was like, but what are you here? I'm here to aid you with your training, of course, Naruto. As skilled as you've become, there's still much more as a turtle ninja you have to learn. And then Fugaku basically says, well, what about being a toad? There's no reason he can't be both, Fugaku. Is it Fugaku? Fugasu, sorry. Fugasu. There's no reason he can't be both, after all. The best of all, after all, natural energy is natural energy, no matter how you process it. It's like, he looks at Pa looks at him and goes, true, but not all sage modes are created equally. The sage mode of the toads is nothing like the sage modes of the slugs or the snakes. Perhaps, but it's all a matter of how you process it, after all. I'd say a toad turtle sage would not be a bad concept, or a marriage of the two. I said, we'll see where he goes. So we're going to be training Naruto, and so Naruto is training with the Sage Chakra. Luckily, though, I actually think he gets it down quicker because he's trained with the tortoises, individuals who, while we now certainly have turtles that can move fast, also have individuals who, like Oogway, who is basically based off a giant Galapagos tortoise. So why he's in China, I have no idea, in the Kung Fu Panda. Who are exceptionally slow and practice stillness. So Naruto's actually got the concept of stillness down a lot better here than he does in the original. And so him accessing Sage Mode does not take anywhere near the same amount of time as it does in the original. So he's allowed to practice things like Rasen Shuriken more, some of his other turtle techniques, combining the turtle ideas, concepts with the toads to create a relatively formidable Sage Mode, a very different Sage Mode at that. And so, when the invasion of pain happens, everyone's struggling. Obviously, Team 9 is out of the village at the time. Now, Sakura cries for Naruto, and Naruto shows up. He shows up, though, not just with Bunta in tow. Not just with Ma and Pa, or Gamakichi, because he is, I believe, on top of Gamakichi with Bunta. In fact, actually, I think it's technically Fugasu and Shima who summoned Bunta, and the other three, it's Gamakiru and Gamakaken, if I'm not mistaken. The sword with the toad with the two swords, and the toad who's, I'm not graceful. With the, I can't remember what it's called. It's kind of like a Konobo tuning fork thing. It's like spiky tuning fork. It's not a tuning fork, but it's shaped like that. Biden and a shield, and then Bunta plus Mappa, and I believe Gamakichi. Well, because the tortoises are also there, they also arranged the summoning of, honestly, I think Oogway's there. I think we got Gamera there, who I've done. I think we've got a turtle representing Bowser there, because like a turtle dragon, similar fire breathing dragon, but a lot more melee oriented than say Gamera is. Gamera is a little tricky, but Bowser can like increase his size. It's something similar to like the calorie jutsu that the Akimichi use. And the third large turtle there would be. Now, I've been thinking on this one for a little bit. Like, what other giant turtles in fiction could I throw in there for, like, just, say, references? And by the way, no, this is not Bowser from Mario. Yeah, it is Bowser, look, personality, all that. But he's not like, oh, I'm going to get Mario. Or no, he's not going to do that. He's in the ninja world. So just translate his abilities to the ninja world and scale them appropriately. I've been thinking Maturin, the turtle from Stephen King. Now, granted, I could see him being like the true end-all, be-all turtle. Like, that would be like the final superpower summoning of it. Because that would be like a space-time ninjutsu turtle. Because literally, Maturin could literally throw up universes. He was able to fly. He's the embodiment of life. So the idea of growth, space-time ninjutsu. Like, I could see him doing that. So maybe he's not summoned here. Maybe he's like a last-ditch effort summoning. He's kind of like Lady Katsui, where even Tsunade can only summon like 10% of her full body. She's so huge. So regardless, Naruto shows up. Now, the problem with Sage Mode, though, I've come to think, at least for the initial usage in the Fight of Pain, is you can't use the gates with it. Because the gates increase your chakra, over, like, drastically in each spurt of the gate. Like, gate of release open, like puts your maxes out your limitations, then healing heals you up and more energy. The next gate, I think it's the gate of pain. Further, and you keep escalating the power. Well, the problem about Sage Mode, it's about balance. So if you were to theoretically use the 8 gates with your Sage Mode, unless you're practiced to the point that like Boruto level Naruto would be with your chakra control, then you would literally just boom, gate, just turn into stone pretty much, like, because the balance would be completely screwed. The only theoretical way you could do it is if you open the gates first and then do the Sage Mode. That, in theory, would work, but I don't think at least initially you can. Or if when you're absorbing Sage Chakra, you're also opening a gate simultaneously. Like every time you open a gate, you got to absorb more Sage Chakra or natural nature energy. So, but the amount of energy you'd have to absorb would also have to be a lot more than the previous gate because of the exponential growth. So it's not something Naruto can do at this moment. But still, he comes in, wreaks havoc. Most of the summonings just wreak havoc on the animal summoning path. Naruto just, because he's practiced with the frog katas, as well as the summoning jutsu, or the turtle style, if you will, just, reversing techniques. And he's got Sage Mode, so he can just crack a neck, throws out the Rasen Shuriken initially. But after that is when things get a little tricky, because Oogway has decided to lend a fighting hand with him. And he's got the Naraka path busy. Well, as Naruto takes up the animal path finally. And because he's dealing with an Naraka path, the Deva path is a bit distracted right now. An old turtle that needs to die. And he tries to crack his chakra on the shell, only for it to just, I'm afraid you'll have to do better than that, and just reverses the attack back. Not up to you, boy. And Naruto comes in. His Sage Mode ran out, but he quickly just pops out another clone. And him and the Deva path kind of go toe-to-toe a bit. Deva path also tries to break chakra on him, only for just a break on his skin, because it did previously, but now he just sees Naruto reveals he's got a shell on his back. I could see, similar to how you could theoretically have frog-like traits, you can also have snake-like traits we see with the snake Sage Mode. You would also, in theory, have turtle-like traits with a turtle Sage Mode. He literally has now grown a shell on his back. And I could see cool techniques coming out of there. For example, just pulling the shell off and regrowing the shells. Shell Shuriken Jutsu! Like, I could see that. He could just, boom, take the hit, maybe even absorb energy into the shell, and rebound it back. Again, reversing your opponent's attack back at you. The point is that Naruto's, physically speaking, Naruto is pretty busted, actually, right now. He's hitting hard, and he can hit fast. The beauty of it is, too, is that so I do think he actually does take out the Deva path because the Naraki path's busy and the Preta path can't be resurrected. So I think he actually beats the Deva path. This leads to him trying to go and find the real Pain here. Well, the real Pain, please stand up. But he finds Pain, and they have their conversation. This also leads to the fact that he did not go into Nine-Tailed Fox mode. So he's very much still got the seal on him, although it's still waning. We know Minato tightened it back up when he showed up. So it was back at full capacity after the Pain fight. And then Naruto was given the key. So it's kind of irrelevant that now he tightened it back up. But oh well. Anyway, Naruto, squares off with them and has the conversation with Nagato that ultimately lets him bring everyone back. Now, someone asked me, because of the what if I did with Nagato giving Naruto his Rinnegan, am I going to do it in this what if or another what if? It all depends on what the story is leaning towards. Here, no. Nothing really changes here, I think, that would mean that Nagato just gives him his eyes. I'm not going to just change that every time. I have done it in previous what ifs, definitely, but I'm not going to do it here. And obviously he resurrects everyone. Woohoo, wonderful. So Sasuke, though, is still causing problems. And so that's what leads us into the Kage-sama arc. Also, should be noted that would Naruto, because again, Naruto does feel responsible for Sasuke. So does Rock Lee, though, in this version, because they're teammates. And by the way, at 16 minutes, I'm not going to lie, yeah, I think we're going to finish this out in this video. So it's going to go a little longer, but we're going to finish it out. So do I think Naruto goes after Sasuke here, or goes after to try to convince the Raikage, all that against what happened with Sasuke? It's actually a really good question. I would say just everything that's been going on here, Lee theoretically has more reason to go than Naruto, but Naruto still, I think, maybe sees Sasuke as a friend. It's just nowhere near as strong of a relationship as it is in the original. Still, Naruto has done more for lesser relationships. I think, yes, he still goes. Nothing would really change there. And unfortunately, this leads to a problem in the scenario, because Naruto is with 10-10. 10-10 and him, are good. They're in a good spot with their relationship. Kaguya probably tries to beat him up Naruto, but yeah, if Naruto maybe even just goes to the stage, just takes the hits, like, okay, you done? Are you done? Does Sakura try to do a bullshit confession on Naruto? Because she has to know he's in a relationship with 10-10. He has to know. She has to know. And this Naruto has not been pining for Sakura this whole time. He still liked Sakura quite a bit for a good while until him and 10-10 finally kind of hit it off, really. But because he didn't get to spend as much time with Sakura, I would contend anytime Naruto is not on someone else's team, or is not on Team 7, sorry. Anytime Naruto is on someone else's team and Sakura's not there, I would contend that it's a lot less likely he would even be pining after Sakura, because he just doesn't get enough interactions with her. Whereas if he's on a team with another female ninja around his age, they get to know each other, they can maybe be friends, that I think endears himself to seek other romantic avenues. So yeah, I don't even know if Sakura would, because she just doesn't have that relationship with Naruto. Now, if Lee had gone with Naruto, and I'm not saying he does, but if Lee had gone with Naruto, like Kakashi I think does here, I think maybe Guy joins instead of Yamato. I think that's the case. If Lee had gone with him, and who's actually to say he doesn't? They say, Naruto, I want to go with you. You are not the only one who failed to bring your friend back. I want to help you bring Sasuke back too. This is my promise. This is the promise I made, not just to Sakura, but to myself as well. All right, Lee, come on, let's go. So the confession scene to Sakura to Lee from Sakura could happen. Now, unlike Naruto, who's perceptive enough to know that she was lying through her teeth, it could Lee be smart enough to pick up on this? Could he? Oof, that is tough. Because Lee isn't dumb. Let's be very clear. Lee is not dumb. He's not a genius or anything in the traditional sense, like mathematically speaking, or academically speaking, I should say. but he's a genius of hard work. He is perceptive in some ways, and he spent a lot of time around Sakura. Yes, I do think Lee would ultimately figure as like, Sakura, why are you saying this? I know you do not feel the same way about me as I do to you. I know you love Sasuke. So why? Why are you lying to yourself and lying to me this way? This is not the honorable way, no, Sakura. To which Naruto's also kind of watching on, just like, Sakura, why are you doing this? And so, yeah, I could see that happening. As well as Naruto and Lee maybe showing up to Sasuke. Because Lee and Sasuke duke it out for a little bit. And Sasuke being blind certainly helps in that fight, or near blind, certainly helps him in that fight with Lee. But Naruto's the one who's kind of put Sasuke in his place. Poof, does the rebound technique for Naruto. I've been waiting to meet you. I've been waiting to see you again. After all these years, you've certainly haven't changed that much. I wish I could say the same for you, Sasuke. What happened to you? And I grew up. I realized the truth, Naruto, just like anyone should. That the village never cared about me or my family, and so I'm gonna bring back my clan by destroying the village. That'll be the truth, because that was his logic at that point. That'll be the true resurrection of my clan. Like, got no jutsu. It's like, but yeah, still Sasuke's not in a place where he wasn't in a place where he could beat Naruto then either. So ultimately he goes. Naruto is also sent away onto the island. The fourth Great Shinobi War happens. Naruto, there's nothing here that would change what happens with him and Kurama. He probably handles himself better in the fight with Kurama because he's in his mindscape. He could probably go all the way to, hypothetically, because it's just his mental version, the mental version of himself. He could use all gates, but we do know that his chakra is still being used, I think. So he probably shouldn't, but he still would be going with the 6th or even 7th gate combined with Sage mode. It's like, Sage, it's like Sage Art, midnight, what was it? Afternoon Tiger or Afternoon Turtle Tiger. It's like, what? And even Kurama's like, what? That's a stupid ass. Then Kushina shows up. They have their conversation. Naruto gains access to KCM1. Now the gates and Kurama are going to be very interesting here because we're going into the war now, and Naruto hasn't, still to this point, except in this fight right now, has not used his full potential with the gates. Not to mention he's got Turtle Sage Art, he's got Toad Sage Art, he's got Rasengans, he's got all the stuff, man. But no, seriously. So again, despite having other abilities, the Kasame thing would go the same. He would eventually go out, bypass the Raikage, and join the war. Now, there's 3 big events here. There is him fighting the Edo Nagato and Itachi. There is him fighting Madara. And there's him fighting Obito in the 6 Paths. Let's talk about the Itachi one here, because I think there is a very big problem here. Is that Itachi probably knows enough of Naruto to know he should put Koto Akatsukame into Naruto, but he's had no available moment to put into Naruto in this version. So then the other logical choice would have been to put it into Lee. However, he in theory could put the Genjutsu on Naruto just briefly, because he put it on Naruto. Had Naruto in a Genjutsu, but he put the crow in the eye in Naruto. He put the crow in Naruto, so it was layered on top of there. He theoretically could do it there because he's attacking his opponent. And the thing about the Edo Tensei is this. They are given the command to attack and fight, but how they do it is their own means. For example, Itachi, if he were fully under Kabuto's control, would not have activated the eye in Naruto to free himself. He just would have attacked Naruto and just fought him to the death. No, so they have limited free will to fight in the manner they want to fight with, so long as they are fighting the opponent, given the orders that they're given. So he could, in theory, layer the Genjutsu into Naruto. Kurama's chakra, in theory, should negate that, but the problem is Kurama's not cooperating with Naruto yet. That I think is actually now Naruto theoretically by going into his Fox chakra or using just Genjutsu dispelling or maybe activating the gates, that should disrupt his chakra enough. But the thing is, I think Naruto would still be susceptible to Genjutsu at this point because Kurama isn't willingly helping Naruto yet. He's got access to that chakra, but it'd be similar to if you put a Genjutsu on Naruto when he's using any of the tail states. In theory, that could still work. At least the V1 tail states, because Naruto's still in control. With Kurama, that's different. You can because you can put Kurama under a Genjutsu too. We know that. Because that's how the Uchiha controlled them with the Sharingan. So I'm going to say this. In order to keep this story smooth, and because the logic, at least for me, is sound, and I'm sure I'll get someone arguing against it, and it's fine. I think he does Genjutsu on Naruto a couple times. Naruto maybe flexes his chakra enough to get out of the Genjutsu, doesn't realize he had another one layered onto him, to which then Itachi releases himself. This allows him to fight Nagato. Nagato is defeated. Cool, wonderful. Goes after Sasuke and him go after Kabuto. Naruto versus the real Madara. That's interesting. Naruto's in the KCM1. We know he goes back to Sage Mode to fight the third. He then, releases up to the fourth gate or automatically, which is we just still don't know what the actual multiplier for the gates are. The only thing we know for certain is that if you were to go through gate 1 to 8, you, as Kakashi point, you would obtain power beyond any Hokage. The only drawback is you die. And Guy proved that. Guy went from it's a good question. Do you think Guy is actually a Kage level opponent? Legit. We know he's high Jonin, elite Jonin. But was he maybe a Kage level opponent at that point? Before even using the gates? We know, though, that he was an Asutsuki level opponent because when he went Might Die, he nearly killed Madara, who was a low level Asutsuki level at that point, more or less. Because at that point, when you're going to the Six Paths mode, you're more Asutsuki than you are ninja, basically. It's kind of difficult to kind of quantify that. But yeah. You're going into basically Madara, as far as I know, wasn't as strong as Kaguya, but then again, Kaguya, after eating the chakra fruit, was actually pretty powerful. She wasn't originally, but then after eating the chakra fruit, she was a lot stronger than some of the other Otsutskis. She wasn't the strongest one. I think Ishiki is the strongest one currently. And then we're not even talking about Shibai right now. Shibai, we know he's the god. He is the god. But yeah, I think Guy might have been at least low-level Kage in terms of his strength. And then going into full Night Guy, he went full-on, well beyond Kage level in terms of strength. Naruto, similar, just going into the fourth gates with Kurama's chakra, first stage chakra mode, and multiple clones. Oh, now granted, he wasn't using that chakra mode, the clones, now that I think about it. I gotta take that back, because the clones weren't using Kurama's chakra mode. But maybe the clones deciding to, because the clones theoretically can release the gates, they all just go, maybe they literally go as far as they can. Naruto doesn't want to use the 7th and 8th gate just because it probably would pop the clone out of existence from the sheer impulse. In fact, that might actually be a real downside with the gates and clone jutsu. The sheer chakra output and the sheer jump might be too much for the clones to handle, so it might pop them out of existence. So Naruto, but using Sage Mode, you would strengthen your body, which we know that they did use Sage Mode. So, but again, that goes to my point of the balance. Now, at this point, Naruto's gotten Sage Mode down very quickly. He can do it almost while moving. We saw it. He can actually almost do it while moving. So maybe he's kind of figured out, okay, if I do combine, and then do Sage Mode. Maybe maybe he figures out a way to at least get a couple gates open and go Sage Mode against the Madaras. It's still not enough Madara, as he just wastes them more or less, but he still manages to almost crack and break through the Susanoo, which Madara notes he's impressed by. That brings us to the Obito fight. Naruto is now in KCM1. He goes at least gate 5, which and combined is he's actually able to handle the tail beast okay for a while. Unfortunately, he's still getting overwhelmed. Ultimately, when it comes down to is that he still has to talk to Kurama. He frees Son Goku. He gets a little bit of their chakra, and finally they are in the full Kurama mode, which Naruto brings the gates back down temporarily. And for a while, it's a bit even until. Sorry, a bit even. It's a bit of the same until we get to Obito stealing what was left of the tail beast and turning into Six Paths Obito. Naruto goes into, Sage Kurama mode, and then adding on to that, then think about this. He could open the gates in Kurama full mode here and just be like, boom, sixth gate. It's like, opens, let's go, and then just boom, smash, just wrecks Obito's shit, because him and Sasuke together were strong enough to take down Obito, barely. Then Madara comes in, they force, I believe, his regeneration. Naruto would have been down for the count here, I think, because he was originally. Minato tries to give him the chakra. The sage pops in. Sasuke is also unfortunately down for the count for a little bit. And obviously Madara turns into Sage Madara. Might Guy goes 8 gates. Naruto comes back. And this time it's like, nah, don't worry. Guy Sensei, thank you for everything, but we'll take you from here. And he saves them, saves Kakashi, and he squares off against the Madaras. And they first duke it out all right. Then obviously Kaguya comes out, so it's Naruto, Sasuke, DMS, Kakashi, and Sakura versus Kaguya. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where we get the final moment. Naruto looks on. He looks at his friends, looks at Sasuke. What are you doing? It's like, It's first, and he finally just looks down, and I can see this being like Goku fighting Boo, like this is my normal form, this is a Super Saiyan, this is a Super Saiyan, this is ascended past the Super Saiyan, or you can just call this a Super Saiyan 3 or 2, and this is going even further beyond. Like, I could see it like that. Like Kaguya says, like, yeah, Azura, why do you do this to me, my son? And it's like, my name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I am the son of Kushina Uzumaki and Naruto and Minato Namikaze, sensei to both Kakashi Sensei, Jiraiya of the Tose, and Might Guy. And Might Guy. I was like, I'm not saying, then you will die. That's interesting. Well, but I'm going to challenge you on that. Tell me, they call you the mother of chakra. What do you know about the inner gates? The inner gates? Now, this is actually a good question. What do you think Kaguya knows about the inner gates? Is this something she was aware of, or something that got learned later on in the ninja world? I have to assume she knows about at least the base concept. It's like, with the gates are limiters on the chakra network. For example, the gate of release, open, and in his head it just goes open. Releases the natural mental inhibitors on the body, allowing you to use your max ability of chakra. Then the gate of a healing, which is located in the right hemisphere, increases the user's physical strength, and he starts, his muscles start to kind of, you're like, then it has the added effect of re-energizing the body, allowing for rapid recovery. Then it's the gate of life, and so they're located in the spinal cord, and obviously Naruto's skin, because he's glowing yellow too, probably is turning more like an orange color, and as people start to disappear, although maybe the slits for the Fox and the Sage mode are still there. And then there's the gate of pain, and all of a sudden Kage realizes that's what he's doing. Oh crap! I need to, and all of a sudden, because once you get to the gate of pain, you get a massive increase of speed and power, although training can mitigate to some degree. Naruto just kind of actually smacks her a bit around. He's fast. I can't keep up with. Yeah. Then there's the gate of life, and then he opens it up, and then just boom, and there's just it's almost like aura, like power level. Gate of view, open, and then gate of wonder, 7th gate of wonder, open. And then finally, he's there. Now, the reason I thought it was important to wait for this, and why Naruto would also wait for this, is because we know with the 6 paths chakra, it can revitalize and help people recover. It saved Guy from death when he should have been, when he was literally turning to ash. So this would be the one time, along with Kurama, that he should be able to, or the one circumstance where he should be able to survive using it. And his power is now just scouring. Even Sasuke's like, unbelievable. How is he this strong? And it's like, Naruto. And for you guys, Sensei. Gate of Death. Open! And then boom, he just comes in. Almost Saitama One Punch Man style. Like all these fists just come in. Rasengans, multiple clones. And Kage is literally just being blown to pieces. She starts to just have that freak out, turning into this big orb. Naruto and Sasuke together pretty much just combined their power, just boom. And unlike before, where she kind of gets sealed in the moon and crushed, apparently it's confirmed she's dead. But it was because she was crushed by the Chibaku Tensei. Here, I think she gets straight out obliterated. Like, even with the Sun and Moon seal on them, I don't think they need it, because you already have someone who can at least... Neither of them were stronger than her. We know that. Naruto and Sasuke were probably in the realm of like a 10th her level of power. I would be guessing that. I am being just guessing here about because of how they compared to her individually. Naruto, we know, was able to get a couple strong hits in, certainly, and went up to her a couple times, so did Sasuke, but they just were not up to her level. At best, you can maybe say they're both like a quarter as strong as her, but I'd be willing to go more like a 10th, maybe even like a 5th, or as much as like a 5th, so maybe 20%. Even so, that means Naruto probably isn't just stronger than her. He is probably eclipsing her in terms of power temporarily. But even with Kurama and his Six Paths chakra, we're helping him recover, keeping him alive, all that. It's still something where it's so taxing on his body because his blood is boiling. We know that for a fact. So it's kind of like, how long can this keep up? And so, but ultimately, yeah, I think he actually, along with Sasuke, straight out obliterates her, finds Black Zetsu, and probably obliterates him too. Like, they are probably both taken care of, which would lead then to the final fight in the Valley of the End. Naruto and Sasuke square off one more time. They have their fight, but again, Naruto having access to the gates means that he can already overwhelm Sasuke a lot quicker than he could before, a lot quicker than he did before, and even then he didn't overwhelm Sasuke. They just matched each other roughly. That being said, again, Naruto's not going to be using the 8th gate this time around, but he might go all the way to 7th if he felt he needed to. So you got the 3-headed chakra avatar of Kurama, then you have gates added on there. Naruto would very handily beat Sasuke here. And Sasuke's down on the ground. It's like, why can't you just give up? Why can't you just give up, Naruto? It's like, because you're my friend, and I don't give up on a friend no matter what. I'm sure Lee also probably would have given Naruto his blessing for this. And so Sasuke comes in, Chidori! Naruto comes in with her Sengon. He activates his iron bands, though, because while he's not as tired as he was in the original, which he was very tired out, he is still tired out. He's still got enough chakra for this, and he's got chakra for one more trick. He launches it into Sasuke. The Rasengan and the Chidori clash, blows off Sasuke, but unfortunately the bands move past Sasuke the clash, grab Sasuke's arm, and pull him back into the Rasengan. And Naruto maybe comes in and just poof, smacks him one more time. So Sasuke loses his arm, but Naruto is fine. And so Sakura comes in, heals them both up. Sasuke apologizes. Naruto says, thanks, Sakura. Naruto comes, saves Tenten. Woohoo, everyone's happy. The Naruto would ultimately become the 7th Hokage. Now, since Naruto the Last is more or less canon, how does that work? Because Hinata isn't in love with Naruto. That's a very good question. I think the way we could work around that is maybe Hinata has moved on and has been dating Lee, and is actually very much realizing that while she did love Naruto, and probably will always have feelings for Naruto on some level, like she'll always love and respect him, she realizes Lee is also a very good man and very much like Naruto, so she could find the same qualities in Lee that she did in Naruto, and maybe other qualities as well. So Lee and Hinata are having their moment in the last, although they're probably already dating. Naruto does still go and help them out. And so he still, helps save the day, absolutely. But Hinata is with, and maybe that would be a fun little or an interesting little character moment where Naruto actually sees Hinata all this time and realizes how she ultimately felt about him, and he apologizes for that, and she says, "No, it's okay. I never said anything to you. It wasn't your job to notice me, Naruto. It was my job to it was my job to talk to you and be there for you. I am just glad you were able to find happiness, and I was able to find happiness too." And so I think it could be a really mature moment between them, acknowledging Naruto acknowledging, if I had known, maybe it's like maybe, but we both found happiness, so let's be happy for each other. That could be a very mature, grown-up thing, especially for those who wanted Naruto and Sakura to end up together, but maybe the last movie still happens. I mean, that could have really worked out well for the people who were not satisfied with the Naruto Hinata ship. Personally, it is the ship I like out of the main group. Like, as many of them didn't make sense. If there's any characters that I think Naruto could do well with as a ship beyond, we'll basically just talk briefly about Boruto in a little bit. But in terms of like other ships, I think could work with Naruto, particularly shipping in and on, because we're not talking about like first part. Very rarely do I have them actually dating in the first part. Naruto and Ino, I don't think works. Naruto and Tenten isn't really a bad option. I don't mind the pairing, but there's just not enough Tenten in the series to really defend it too much. Naruto and Tamari, actually, I don't think is a bad option, really. Naruto, honestly, even though they're related, Naruto and Karin, even though they're more distant related, Naruto and Karin isn't a bad pairing either. I like that. Believe it or not, I've also liked the idea of Naruto and Fu. I haven't done that pairing yet. I'm sure I will get to at some point, particularly like in a series where Fu is in the village, which has been asked. So Naruto and Fu, I think, would not be a bad pairing either. I don't like Naruto and Ino that much. Now, and I mean, like, in terms of the story, what makes sense. I've done Naruto and Ino before, and I did like what I did with that. Spoilers, that's in the Naruto adopting Jiraiya one. Or adopting Jiraiya adopting Naruto one. Have I done anything else? That's a good question. Have I done anything else? Oh, and look, I know that it's... Some people really like the Naruto Sakura one. I do not like Naruto and Sakura. I don't care if that allegedly is where it was supposed to lead up, which, by the way, I've heard people say that's what it was supposed to be, and I have never seen anything to say that. That he only made it Hinata because he wanted, his wife wanted it. I don't buy that. Now, maybe that is what happened, but I still don't buy it, to be honest. That it just wasn't making sense. That, like, yes, she was relying a lot on Naruto, sure, but it just wasn't making. And people saying that it was supposed to end at the pain arc, I'm calling bullshit right now on that. It was not supposed to end on the pain arc because you still had literally God knows how many unanswered questions. So whoever says it was supposed to end at the pain arc is a liar. I'm sorry, that makes no sense. There was too many things still not wrapped up yet. So it's clear for anyone saying it was supposed to wrap up with the pain arc is being biased here. Or has been given misinformation. I'm going to say that too. It could just be misinformation. Or look, maybe I am wrong and it was, but then why would you leave so many things unanswered then? You can tell now I'm just kind of just going off the rails because there's not much else to talk about. You would get to the future with Boruto. I still think you would have Boruto as the son, who would look a lot like his dad, but Himawari would probably look more like Tenten and Naruto. Still have Naruto's blue eyes because Himawari did inherit those. But yeah, look maybe a bit more like her mom. Probably not wearing like maybe she wears it like in just a bun instead of like the panda look, the palm look. And then, like, Lee and Hinata maybe have actually two kids. You have Metal Lee, yes, we know that. But you also have Himawari Lee, because Rock is actually his first name. So, yeah, and I guess in terms of how strong they would be, that's a very good question. We know for a fact, though, that Boruto and Himawari would be a lot weaker here because they do not have the added benefit of a Hyuga. We also know, though, that Metal would probably be stronger here. and Himawari would probably be weaker. Just due to the fact that, yeah, they while they don't have Uzumaki genes in there, or Namikaze, whatever Namikaze brings to the table, they do still have Hyuga, and Lee is still a very strong individual. The only thing I guess I would address is the Ishiki fight with Naruto and Sasuke. Naruto would most likely use 8 Gate before he used Baryon, and the question then becomes how strong is 8 Gate Naruto at that point compared to Ishiki, who one-shotted Naruto in Kurama mode initially and broke through his Sasuke Susanoo like it was nothing. So you add on 8 gates added on to that. Okay, now you have a legitimate fight on your hand there. That is a really good question. How strong do you think Naruto would be in the Ishiki fight? Because, I mean, giving him all 8 gates and, allegedly having 6 pass chakra to eventually keep him from dying. It's a damn good question. He would certainly not be getting one shot like him and Sasuke did initially. He'd be a very dangerous opponent, actually. So, like speed-wise alone, he would probably still be able to blitz Ishiki. So, maybe Naruto doesn't lose Kurama, which means Kawaki might not be able to seal him in that dimension then. Because Naruto and Kurama would be able to, sense that he's going to try something and has to stop that. And that would mean the whole Shinju thing that's happening right now would be playing off, I think, very differently. So, I don't know. I don't do Boruto. I address like the big major events that need to happen in Boruto that could be altered by this change. That's what I address. But I don't do Boruto because then these series would never end. It would take forever to get to them. Plus, not a big fan of Boruto. I keep track of what's going on with Boruto. I'm aware of what's going on with Boruto as of right now, but I do not follow Boruto. I do not read Boruto. Plus, I'd have to read a lot of Boruto, and I don't want to go through that. Anyway, I digress. That is the end of this What If. I am actually surprised once I got past the pain arc that it ended as quickly as you did. And you know why? You want to know exactly what the reason was, I think? Because I didn't have to play mental gymnastics of what happens when Sasuke is not doing shit. Or is not part of the Akatsuki trying to, wreak havoc. A lot of the times, Sasuke has ended up back in the village, either under lock and key or has seen the error of his ways. Because Sasuke was still basically doing exactly what he did in the original series, that means there was a whole bunch of stuff I did not have to do. So I think that explains it. It does. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll put a poll up for the next Naruto What If. We are now it's going to be the Zanpakuto and the Devil Fruit one coming up. So I'm going to put a poll up for, actually, you know what? I'll put a poll up for which one you want first. How about that? Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.